Tisha Bader with Shalom TV's news update for Friday, March the 28th, 2014. It remains unclear at the moment whether Israel will indeed release a last round of Palestinian security prisoners scheduled for tomorrow, Saturday night. French news agency AFP reports that Palestinian leader Jibril Rajoub told them that Israel has said it would not conduct the release. AFP quoted Rajoub as saying the Israeli government has informed us through the American mediator that it will not abide with its commitment to release the fourth batch of Palestinian prisoners scheduled for tomorrow, Saturday, 29. He said not releasing the prisoners will mark the beginning of the efforts in the international community to challenge the legality of the occupation. The issue of prisoner release has been a contentious one, with the Palestinians suggesting that only with this last release will they perhaps continue peace talks with Israel, and Israel wanting to see a real commitment on the Palestinian side to those peace talks before they go ahead with the release. Israel had agreed to the initial release of 104 total prisoners, most of whom are responsible for deadly terror attacks on Israel this past summer, as a gesture to restart peace talks. They have already released 78 prisoners in 3 rounds since then. Israel has maintained that the releases are not automatic, but are conditioned on progress in the peace talks. So far, Israel has not released any official comment regarding whether the prisoner release will take place tomorrow or not. However, it seems likely that it will not take place, as there normally needs to be a 48-hour time period between the time when the names of the prisoners set to be released are made public and the actual release. And that has not happened as of yet, as far as we know. This process allows the High Court in Israel to receive any appeals against the release. We reported to you yesterday that according to a UN Watch report, Indonesia's former UN envoy Makarim Wibisono would be the one replacing Richard Falk as special rapporteur on Palestinian human rights at the UN's Human Rights Council. However, today the Jerusalem Post reports that British legal expert Christine Jenkin is the likely candidate to fill Falk's role. Jenkin helped write the controversial Goldstone report on Gaza 4 years ago. UN Watch's executive director Hillel Neuer said that Wibisono was said to be the council's choice Wednesday night. However, he said yesterday that it was now clear that the council would recommend Jenkin for the role. Neuer said in the end, the Arab states following Ramallah's lead only wanted Jenkin, a proven pro-Palestinian legal campaigner, in their view, will be far more effective to promote their global lawfare and BDS agenda than a Muslim diplomat, referring there to Wibisono. It remains to be seen, however, whether the president of the UNHRC will in fact appoint Jenkin to replace Falk when he steps down May the 1st.
Fratelli e sorelle.
More details of the Pope's expected visit to Israel in May are being released. The Vatican said yesterday that Pope Francis will pray alongside Orthodox Patriarch of Constantinople Bartholomew at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem when he visits the Holy City. The two also will be signing a joint declaration when they meet, marking the 50th anniversary of a visit to Jerusalem by Pope Paul VI and Ecumenical Patriarch of Constantinople, Patriarch Athenagoras. According to the Vatican and the Latin Patriarchate of Jerusalem, the meeting between Pope Francis and the Orthodox Patriarch is the main purpose of the pontiff's visit to the region. Pope Francis will begin his Mideast trip on May the 24th in Amman, Jordan, where he will meet with King Abdullah II and Queen Rania. He will then fly to Jerusalem on the afternoon of the 25th and visit the Western Wall on the morning of the 26th. While in Jerusalem, the Pope will also visit the Temple Mount and Israel's Living Holocaust Memorial Yad Vashem. He'll also meet with Israeli President Shimon Peres, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and with Israel's chief rabbis David Lau and Yitzhak Yosef. Leaders from Jewish and Christian organizations met in New York City this week to discuss strategies to strengthen and maintain relationships and continue dialogue even when there are deep disagreements between them. Meetings of the group called Jewish-Christian Roundtables had halted in October of 2012 when Christian groups called on Congress to investigate Israel's use of U.S. military aid. At the gathering this week, the group committed to pick up the annual roundtable meetings, keep working together and keep the conversation going. They stated, "We affirm a strong commitment to continue working together on domestic and international issues of common concern. We will aspire to genuine and ongoing dialogue related to Israeli-Palestinian issues, seeking to identify and discuss in respect and humility areas of real or potential disagreement and of real and potential cooperation." President of the Jewish Council for Public Affairs, Rabbi Steve Guto, co-convened the group together with Reverend Mark Hansen, who is the former presiding bishop of the Evangelical Lutheran Church of America. Other Jewish leaders who participated in the meeting included National Director of the Anti-Defamation League, Abe Foxman, Executive Director of the American Jewish Committee, David Harris, President of the Union of Reform Judaism, Rabbi Rick Jacobs, Executive Vice President of B'nai B'rith International, Daniel Mariashin, Executive Vice President of the Rabbinical Assembly, Rabbi Julie Schoenfeld, and Director of the Religious Action Center of Reform Judaism, Rabbi David Saperstein. Among the Christian leaders participating, stated Clerk of the General Assembly of the Presbyterian Church USA, the Reverend Grady Parsons, from the United Methodist Church, Bishop Marianne Swenson, President of the Christian Church Disciples of Christ in the U.S. and Canada, Reverend Dr. Sharon Watkins, and President of the National Council of Churches, Reverend Dr. James Winkler. Cornelius Gurlitt, who inherited a massive collection of Nazi-looted art from his father, now says he wishes to return the art to its rightful owners and heirs. If you recall, the art collection was discovered in Gurlitt's apartment in Salzburg, Austria last year. The collection of hundreds of paintings includes works by Picasso, Renoir, and Monet. Gurlitt's father was Hildebrand Gurlitt. He was described by Der Spiegel as an art dealer to the Führer. He worked for the Nazis and reportedly took orders from Hitler and acquired the paintings in the 30s and the 40s, selling the stolen works and art the regime called degenerate. Through his lawyer, the son, who is now 81, was quoted by Süddeutsche Zeitung's newspaper as saying this week that he wants to, quote, return all artworks that have been stolen or robbed from Jewish ownership to each of their owners or descendants. Several Jewish figures passed away this week. Jewish-born U.S. Defense Secretary James Schlesinger died yesterday at the age of 85. Schlesinger played a key role in the emergency shipment of arms to Israel during the 1973 Yom Kippur War. He died Thursday of complications from pneumonia at Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore. Schlesinger was raised in a Jewish home but converted to Lutheranism in 1950. He is survived by 4 daughters and 4 sons. And former executive director at the American Jewish Congress, Phil Baum, died on Wednesday. Baum, who served in senior positions at the organization for more than 5 decades, died at his home in Riverdale. He was said to have been in his 90s. Baum was known as a leading champion in the U.S. Jewish community of Israel, Soviet Jewry, and other causes. He organized the annual American-Israel Dialogue Conference in Israel for 20 years and was said to have been among the first Jewish leaders to defend the legality of President Truman's recognition of Israel in May of 1948. He also offered a legal defense of Israel's decision to try Nazi leader Adolf Eichmann. Baum is survived by his wife, Betty. And a man referred to as the founding father of modern architecture in Israel died today. Professor Abram Yassky, who was also an Israel Prize winner, died in Israel at the age of 87. Yassky was born in Moldova in 1927. He made Aliyah to Israel in 1935. He is known for his many landmarks in the country, such as the Azrieli Center and Rabin Square. And that's Shalom TV's news update for Friday, March the 28th. Remember, live Shabbat services from New York City's Central Synagogue are coming up at 6 o'clock. I'm Tisha Bader. Shabbat Shalom.